First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out today on this blistering hot day to talk about money that our representatives have been able to get us for an ice rink, because if there's anything that I could use right now, it would actually be a little bit of coolness. But I do really appreciate that. And this is really a big day for East Brunswick, and we really, really do want to thank our representatives for helping bring $3 million to help get this project off the ground. I think that really... This project is something that we've been envisioning for an extremely long period of time. The people that are here today behind us that are here to help see this off the ground represents a broad section of our community. We have our representatives from our township council. We have representatives from the redevelopment agency, which has been responsible for working on all of the redevelopment projects that you see starting here on Route 18. We have representatives from the RPAB, which is our Recreation Parks Advisory Board, which helps provide all the parks and recreation programs that East Brunswick residents enjoy. We have representatives from our newly appointed Ice Rink Advisory Board, who's going to help work with our township professionals, both the planning and engineering and the individuals from our parks and recreation, to try to make sure that at the end of the day we produce a product, we produce a rink that meets all the needs of the residents here and the communities surrounding us, who will all benefit from this great venture. We have representatives from DMR, which is our selected architect to be doing all of the work to put this together, and many, many, many people who represent both students, players, parents of the ice and hockey rinks in our community, who have been waiting anxiously to see this come off the ground. So a big round of applause to everybody that's here today. What I don't want to forget is the incredible amount of work that our staff puts into getting us to where we are at this point. We have representatives from our Parks and Recreation Board. We have Recreation Department, from our Planning Engineering Department, and from our DPW Department. So I really think that this is a project that's going to bring all parts of the township together to do something that's really great for our residents. But getting that off the ground is what often takes the hard part, and that seems like it takes forever, but getting there and getting to this day didn't happen without a lot of work. The benefits are going to be obvious, and I think this is where our representatives really fought for us, because they understood at the end of the day what this actually creates. First, it creates more sports and entertainment opportunities for the residents of our community and the surrounding region, whether that be ice hockey, skating, curling, which is now becoming popular, figure skating, shows on ice, women's hockey, which is one of the fastest growing portions of ice hockey. We also have, finally, our Board of Education has approved a high school hockey team for East Brunswick. So really thrilled that that's going to be something that they'll actually be able to have a home unit, home place, home base to work out of. And then finally, the plans for this includes an all-purpose area where there's opportunities to do other sports besides ice sports. Things that we could include would be indoor pickleball, which is becoming popular, basketball. And so these are really opportunities to try to provide something for the community that we desperately need. Secondly, it is an economic stimulus for this area of redevelopment, whether that is bringing travel teams in or bringing in tournaments. It helps feed restaurants, it helps feed hotels, it helps feed service industries and other entertainment venues that are dotting and continuing to increase along our Route 18 corridor. And I think finally, in the area of social justice, we recognize that this is not always an easy sport to afford. And so we have charities here in the township that are all willing and committed to trying to make sure that we provide opportunities for everybody to enjoy and to learn and to gain skating skills and to maybe identify and participate in a sport that otherwise might be out of reach. Those are the three main goals, and I think our representatives here did an outstanding job in making sure that those funds come here and promote all the activities that this rink will generate. recognition of that, I also finally want to thank Garden Homes. Garden Homes is the community that is being built right here on this site. And in the process of the redevelopment agency and the township negotiating for this space, what ended up happening was the developer, in return for economic and tax advantages, has actually agreed to deed back to the township the 8 acres of property that the rink is going to be on, and is doing all of the site work, whether that be sewer lines, water lines, parking, stormwater drainage, all of the grading. This is millions of dollars in economic benefit that the developer is giving to us in return for the tax benefit to get his project off the ground. So again, it is a community where everybody has worked together to get this major project off the ground. I would like everybody to give a big round of applause to our council president and chair of the redevelopment agency, Jim Wendell, because it was in large part his work to get us to this point.
Thank you all. You know, Mr. Mayor, this was your vision when we started this. There was originally apartments designed to be back there, and you said, no, I want a public purpose. And we redesigned and worked with the developer, and you know, I just think that this is the best thing that can happen to this area. And I want to thank our public officials, or our state representatives rather, for seeing the need for a space like this in this economic area, and seeing the growth of our redevelopment areas, and understanding that this is going to be a great stimulus for the town and the businesses. And lastly, I'd like to thank the members of the redevelopment agency. More importantly, our executive director, Michael Hughes, who worked tirelessly with our professionals and myself and the developer, negotiating these agreements to get that property deeded back to us and get all of those improvements done. So thank you, Mr. Hughes, wherever you are. Thank you. And thank you to the members of the redevelopment agency and our professionals as well. Thank you all.
Without further ado, we're really going to give the mic to our representatives who really fought down in Trenton to make sure that we got this money. First, Senator Duignan. Thank you. Please come.
Now, this is the old Wonder Bread site, right? And remember the Wonder Bread? Anybody remember it? Yeah. Helps build strong bodies 12 ways. So think of how appropriate that there's going to be an ice skating rink, right, at the old one. So I can't help myself. And also the mayor, I'm not going to obviously repeat everything that the mayor said, but this is you have trouble reading the newspaper anymore. It gets to the point where you think that two folks can't agree on anything. This is the A-team. Your mayor and council are as good as it gets. And East Brunswick is the jewel of Middlesex County, not by mistake, but because of their hard work. And as the old expression goes, there's no I in team. Everybody works together. Everybody has a common goal. And this is an example of what government should be. When we work together, when we articulate the need, you bring the support. Obviously, Assemblyman Stanley, living here in East Brunswick, he's the guy who took the lead on this, and I'm happy to be part of it, and just keep up the good work. East Brunswick is fortunate to have you as mayor and fortunate to have your leadership.
Thank you. Our assembly team is led by Assemblyman Robert Karabinchuk, and I will give him an opportunity to address our group. Where are you guys?
Right behind me. Mayor, thank you so much. As the senator said, it's an honor to be here today. East Brunswick is so important. And this was something that we collectively, Assemblyman Stanley, Senator Duignan, and myself fought for, because there was a lot of money to be given out. And obviously there's other towns that are extremely jealous of this that's happening here in East Brunswick. And that's okay. So obviously, with the jobs it's going to produce during the construction, with the jobs it's going to produce to maintain it and have all of the operations for the community, and it's all about the community. It's about the people who live here. It's about the people who come from other towns to come and enjoy this. That's so important. And this is not for today. This is for our future, for our kids' kids, and even beyond that. And this is something that is monumental today, and I can't wait to actually cut the ribbon with the mayor, and the council to be able to go in there. The only thing I'm going to ask is somebody's going to have to teach me how to skate. With that, thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you, Assemblyman. And of course, without further ado, our own representative representing East Brunswick in Trenton, and somebody who started out with me as a council member when I ran for mayor and has never forgotten his roots, never forgotten the needs of the people here in East Brunswick, and works hard every day to make sure that we get this type of funding and other funding throughout the year that helps us provide the type of opportunities for residents without always relying on taxpayers to make up the difference. So, Assemblyman Sterling Stanley.
Thank you, everyone. Today is a great day for East Brunswick. Like the mayor said, through all his points, we are here to celebrate the economic development of East Brunswick, the new ice rink that's going to be helping all the families. This is really good because, like the mayor said, when I started with the mayor campaigning, we talked about what the needs of East Brunswick were, and the economic development was one of the biggest needs of East Brunswick. And it is really good to see how this has developed. While I was on council, as council president, we went through all the different stages. So it was even doubly sweet to be able to work on the state side to get this money to come into East Brunswick to help us to build this rink. And I think this is going to be a great future benefit for generations to come, and all the different groups and activities that are going to take place. This is going to be an awesome go-to place in East Brunswick. Thank you.
Thanks, Sterling. And in order to get this project done, we need coordination between two different major departments here in the township. And that's really how we get things done. Again, team, like we've been saying all along. First, I'd like to introduce everybody to our Director of Planning and Engineering and Construction, Keith Kipp, who is going to be in charge of making sure that the construction end of this meets the needs of all of the residents here in the township. Keith?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank our state legislators for helping make this happen, our council, who did a great job in working with us to get this done. Redevelopment Agency did an excellent job in negotiating with our partner in this project, which is Garden Homes, as the mayor had mentioned. I just want to say, I grew up in this town, and beyond the woods line you could see behind me, I used to play ice hockey when the pond froze, which could be hazardous. I'm glad to be part of a team that's bringing an actual safe, nice ice rink that the youth of East Brunswick can utilize. And again, I'd like to thank all my staff who oversees all the construction that you see here, and I look forward to working with DMR Architect and the design team for this project. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I don't tell everybody to please do not go out on ice in anywhere in this area. That is not a good thing to do. But I understand that the lure to it. But no, our insurance company wouldn't be happy with that. And then, in order to get this project working, the one thing you do is to build the place, but now we got to actually fill it with programs that meet the needs of the residents. And that's something that our Parks and Recreation Department has been doing for years. And for those that might even question new projects, just think it was probably a couple of decades ago that we did Crystal Springs. There were doubters then at that time, too. It is now a world-class, considered to be the #1 public pool in all of New Jersey. So I have no doubt that with work and with effort and the initiative on the part of all of the residents here, this is going to be the same feeling and same reputation we'll have for our ice rinks. And that's all done through our Parks and Recreation Department. I'd like you all to give a round of applause, and let's speak Mike Reisner, our Director of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to follow Mayor Cohen's comments, East Brunswick has always been, in my opinion, at the forefront of Parks and Recreation and pushing the envelope, because I think the town has always realized the impact that Parks and Recreation has on our residents and improves our quality of life. So I appreciate Mayor Cohen and his administration continuing that vision. Somebody who lives Parks and Rec every day and sees the impact it has in our community, this project is just going to be fantastic. Our staff and I, we've already started to visit some municipal and county operated rinks in New Jersey and we've seen firsthand the impact that it has had on the residents and the local community of those regions in New Jersey. So we're excited to work with our Recreation Parks Advisory Board and the newly appointed East Brunswick Ice Arena Committee to develop a facility that this community can be really, really proud of. And we thank Mayor Cohen and his administration and our state representatives very much for this opportunity. We look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
In closing, I hope that EVTV can get a good view of all these kids here who are going to be the ice players of the future of East Brunswick, and given an opportunity to hopefully break that ice in. And there are also people here in the audience today, and many people in the town that I know, who have waited decades for this to happen. And I have promised them that the first game that will be initiated on ice in this rink, once it's up, is going to be played by those people who waited for decades to get the opportunity to do that. So those will be the people that break the ice. Hopefully you guys could drop the puck on that game. But the future is for all of the residents of East Brunswick, and these kids behind me represent that future. So thank you all for coming out here today, and I look forward to seeing all of you at what we hope will be a ribbon cutting in just about a year and a half. Thank you.
Just really excited to be here today. The announcement of funding from the state of New Jersey for the ice rink that's going to be built behind us here. It's been a long time in the making, since the start of my career really in East Brunswick politics, going back 15 years ago. It's 2007. I remember discussions about, should the high school have an ice hockey team? There's no ice time available at any of the surrounding rinks, and they couldn't have home games. And there's been a steady drumbeat of folks over the course of 15 years who have said, this is a need in East Brunswick, and it's a community amenity that would just enhance what we already have. And East Brunswick has had a long history of commitment to recreation and sports here in town. We've had investment in Per Dietrichson Park. We've had Heavenly Farms. We've had Crystal Springs. We've had the revamping that going on at Bicentennial Park. So this is just the natural next step to happen here, and have an ice hockey facility and an ice rink for town residents to enjoy.
This is an exciting time for East Brunswick, especially for the youth here in the town. It will open up so many opportunities for them to have things to do and places to go to enjoy the community and have fun.
Hi, we are here as community members to share in the excitement of the ice hockey rink that's going to be built, which I'm told is going to be right behind us. Gianna is 12, goes to school here in East Brunswick, and is very excited to be able to skate close to home.
Well, I've skated since I was 3, and I like playing with my teammates because they're all really nice. And I'm excited to be able to just skate, not drive 40 minutes to a rink.
My son plays ice hockey. He goes to St. Joe's High School, and he's been playing ice hockey since he's been 5 years old, and he loves it. This is his sport, and I have a 7-year-old that is in the coming of ice hockey. This sport to me is one of the greatest sports to watch. It is fun and it's exciting. They get the community involved. The NHL teams really care for community, and they care for the kids, and that is what kind of pushed us into ice hockey, was the community aspect.
It's a dream come true. Simply because she'll get to wear East Brunswick attire, she'll be playing and representing her community, and it doesn't hurt that it's right down the road and she could potentially ride her bike for some ice time.
Well, it's an exciting day here. I think that, as we see the level ground behind us, it really provides a viewpoint of where we are headed into the future. We can see it all on plans on a piece of paper, but to actually see it in action today provides a glimmer of hope of where we are in the future. I recall, you may not think I remember it, but I do recall Crystal Springs being built in the 90s, and us, seeing where it is today has really kind of come such a long way to be put on the map and recognized as a top water park in the state of New Jersey. We can only hope for just at least half of that level of fame for our ice rink to come, and with our team around us, I believe that we're we're headed in that direction.
Very excited about it. I spent 5 years with the New Jersey Devils, working with both the big boys up in Newark and the minor hockey league team, the Trenton Devils down in Trenton. Having this facility in our town is going to be not only a boon for East Brunswick, but the state as well. It's going to bring people in who normally have traveled down to Delaware, down to Maryland, up to New York, upstate New York. We're, as everybody knows now, we are the center of Central Jersey. So we now can become that facility that Delaware and Maryland and New York come up and down to. So and our facility is going to be light years beyond what those two facilities are. So it really is going to be a fantastic place to come and not only have the kids play, but the men's leagues, the women's leagues, and as well as just ice skating for families. It really is going to be a fantastic facility. The food that's going to be here, we have the hotels all around, so it's just really going to be a great meeting place for hockey in the Northeast.
One of our main purposes and functions is to find out what needs there are in the community for recreational facilities. And in doing that over the last couple of years, we've determined that there's been a lot of people in town and surrounding towns that would love to have a hockey rink here in town. So over the last couple of years, we've worked with the administration to talk to redevelopers, to talk to our community, commercial establishments, getting together with the better part of our business community in town, and really are so grateful that our elected officials at the state level have come forward with a $3 million grant to help us really get this project going.
Today is great because it really shows the collaboration at the different levels of government that we have here in East Brunswick. Our state government, our municipal government, our departments just work together for the benefit of the residents. And something when the state legislators can go and get $3 million from Trenton and bring it back to the community, it just helps us for taxes. It also shows the support that the state has for us economically and just as a community. It shows the faith that they have in us as a community and as a government to be able to bring just the things to the residents that they want to see. As Economic Development Officer, I think it's just a wonderful addition to East Brunswick. We already have a developing entertainment corridor here, and this is going to be one more feather in our cap that will bring people here as a destination.
This is a great vision from the mayor that has been asked for by residents for more than 20 years, and you know it's going to be something just like Crystal Springs. It's going to be totally user-funded, not taxpayer-funded, and it's going to be, you know, pay for itself over and over again, just as Crystal Springs has done. As you can see at Crystal Springs, we've done many, many improvements over the past 10 years, and that's because we pay off our debt, and then we take on new debt to build new facilities at those places. So this is not going to be a taxpayer-funded facility. It's going to be a user-funded facility, and I'm just happy and thankful to our mayor for his vision, and also to Assemblyman Sterling Stanley, our local representative from East Brunswick, who pushed hard for this money, and this will offset the costs of construction.
It's really exciting to see just kind of that tangible progress occur. I was involved in negotiating these documents that got this land deeded back to the township. It's been privately owned for the last, really forever in East Brunswick. And one of the main rate limiters in order to have an ice rink is where's the space going to be, and the township doesn't always have the money to acquire land and build something on top of it. So here you have a case where the township and the redevelopment agency didn't have to spend a dime to acquire this land here. The site work's being done by a private developer, and then $3 million worth of work is already earmarked coming from the state of New Jersey. It's a home run all the way. Very rarely do you get all of the wheels of government clicking at the same RPM here to really create this opportunity. And I'm just really happy to be here and just be a small part of it.
As a hockey fan, a hockey family, someone who grew up living on skates or in the locker room or in the seats or even on the ice. It's a really exciting to see this happening in my backyard. The potential of a hockey team in within our high school is fantastic. We are a great athletic but student athlete organization within our high school, which means that there is so much more to benefit beyond just the community itself, the Route 18 entertainment corridor, but it allows the township, the schools, and the community of businesses around us to really kind of come together as one in what we can see as just a bright star of the future.
Bringing out everybody that's just going to be the residents, the kids, the parents, the young adults like myself that are just excited about this being here to be able to play hockey. I think seeing everybody coming out here in support of that's going to be wonderful. This has been a process that has been now fought in Trenton to get money for. It's been a process that's been worked out through here in town. It's going to be an economic benefit to town. It's going to be an entertainment benefit to town. It's something that our Parks Department is going to be heavily involved in, and they're already second to none. And this is just one more thing. So when we do that ribbon cutting and we open this up to everybody, I think it's going to be a race to the ice.
I've lived in East Brunswick for my entire life, over 60 years. And one of the things that I'm very proud of is the fact that when the township sees a demand, we don't just try to meet it, we try to exceed the expectation. Whether it was a library, whether it was Crystal Springs, whether it's our police department, whatever we do, we really strive to do the best. And one of the things I'm very proud of is that being involved from the design phase right through the construction phase is that we'll have an opportunity to make sure that this facility accommodates as many of the needs of the residents as possible.
I'd like to thank the mayor, the council, and the assemblyman. I'm excited for this. This is going to be so good for our community and the kids.
Let's go EB.